Hello world! Today will be sort of a different type of video, so I hope you all enjoy it. I just decided that instead of focusing on one movie, I would branch out and just really try to talk to you guys about some of the things that I have been watching. So, today I'm excited to be talking about my journey into the world of Japanese animation. So this whole thing sort of started when a few weeks ago I told myself that I wanted to watch a lot of Studio Ghibli films, and sort of turned into this little explorative thing where I actually dove into Madhouse too, and I was really interested with some of the things that I found. So today we will be talking about 1. The Secret World of Arrietty, 2. Spirited Away, 3. Howl's Moving Castle, 4. Perfect Blue, and lastly, 5. Paprika. So let's dive in, shall we? The Secret World of Arrietty and I go way back. I remember when this movie was playing on TV when I was way younger. It was a good way for me to get my feet wet. I consider this movie to have an incredibly beautiful story, as expected with Studio Ghibli. It follows the story of a group of tiny people called the Borrowers living in an old home, and they try to avoid detection from the humans that live in the house, but when the daughter of the Borrower family meets a human boy living in the home, an interesting turn of events ensues. And I love the story in this movie. It's simple, it's fun, it's easy to get into, it's quite heartwarming. And Studio Ghibli's animations have this weird power to make me laugh. All of the character designs in this movie can just get so outrageous at times, where they can even give animals in the story their own personalities, and it's really fun. So overall, I'd say that this was a great little nostalgia piece for me, and I'd say you can check it out if you have the free time. And it's a very relaxing movie if you just want to put it on for a little bit before taking a nap. As you can imagine, Spirited Away was hyped up all over the place. It won the Oscar for Best Animated Short of its year and seems to be considered Miyazaki's masterpiece. And I could definitely see that. It's a beautiful movie with a ton of beyond stellar images that just really run amok with imagination. And after I watched this movie, I also did some reading about it because I wanted to understand how did they create these characters and how did they bring this world to life. And basically, they crafted this movie with so much care. Thank you, Hayao Miyazaki. So, the story follows a young girl who must find the courage to save her parents as her family gets whisked away into a world of spirits. And you can tell that the animation team took no shortcuts in designing the frames of this movie. Every single moment, this is just like bursting with color and imagination and wonder. But I had a few problems with this movie's story. Just because the beginning of it and then the midsection left me honestly a bit confused and uninvested. I don't know if I'm alone on this, but I found it hard to find a clear story path to follow. I don't know if maybe I just wasn't into it. But that's fine. It's not like it was boring. I can definitely see how the world building in this is really vast and it really encourages you as a viewer to, fill in some of the gaps and solve your own little mysteries, but I found it a little bit hard to just sit through. Overall, I'd say that I really loved the images, but I wasn't really that invested in the story. Please let me know in the comments if I'm really alone on this opinion. But anyway, let's get into the next movie. I've got to say, of the 3 Studio Ghibli films that I've seen so far, Howl's Moving Castle has probably got to be my favorite one. I've heard people say that this may be the most accessible or whatever, but I just found this movie to be so much fun. It follows the story of a young girl who gets cursed by a witch to have the body of an elderly woman. So the girl embarks on a journey to find a magic sorcerer with hopes of finding true love and getting back in her own body. Well, not really finding true love, just really getting back in her own body, but I've found a lot of the moments in this movie to be just so much fun and really funny at times, like the little wizard kid with his little costume. Also, while Spirited Away seemed to focus on showcasing the vast amount of characters that were in this world, I feel like Howl's Moving Castle really doubled down on the details of this environment and the landscapes of this environment, and I've just got to say I really prefer that to Spirited Away just because I found it breathtaking to look at, and I love the score. I really love the score. I just found this movie to be so much fun. So yeah, I'd say it's a pretty fun story that's definitely worth your time if you haven't seen it before. Once again, with these movies, it's like they're really made for kids or just relaxation. Like, this is just the perfect thing to put on and take a nap. This movie blew me away, to be honest. I mean, unlike the previous movies I mentioned, this is not a movie that you want to put on before you take a nap, because you will have nightmares. Honestly, I don't know if I can express my love for the work of Satoshi Kon right now, because I feel like he might be my first favorite director, which is so funny and ironic to me, because I feel like, oh, I've set out to find this favorite movie director, and I find a favorite director that does Japanese animation. More on that later, though. This story follows a pop idol who gets stalked by one of her fans as she tries to carve out a career for herself in television and leave the music industry. I must say that I instantly preferred the work of Satoshi Kon to Miyazaki just because I felt like the story was way more engaging for me. Really got me thinking about a lot of different ideas and themes. I mean, there are incredibly interesting cuts and transitions in this movie, and I feel like Satoshi Kon as an artist just really takes advantage of whatever medium he wants to use. Because before he made this, it was actually originally planned to be shot in live action. But after extreme budget cuts, he moved animation. And I have to say, I mean, he did a really great job. A lot of people like this movie. And the ending of this movie just had my heart beating so fast. Like, oh, it's really a thrilling movie. I was on the edge of my seat. This is amazing. You should go watch it. Yeah, I recommend Perfect Blue. Next. I watched this a day after watching Perfect Blue because I felt that Satoshi Kon had just blew me away and I had to see more, so Paprika it was. I mean, Satoshi Kon definitely blew me away in this movie, just once again doing things that just push the bounds of storytelling for me. The story follows a therapist trying to figure out the man behind a series of brain attacks in the city as a device that allows you to enter someone else's dreams is stolen. It's actually quite similar to Inception, honestly. But similarly to Perfect Blue, Satoshi Kon uses so many interesting cuts and transitions in this movie. I mean, it just runs amok with imagination, not exactly how Miyazaki does these beautiful images, but I feel like Satoshi Kon just has a beautiful way of crafting his stories and piecing them together. I mean, Perfect Blue played around with character design in a way that was very creepy and scary, but this movie plays around in a way that just is very creative and expansive and really incredible to look at. And I recently watched Donnie Darko, and so I've just got to say, while a lot of stories may like to play with the idea that we don't have free will and we're controlled by some outside force, I feel like this movie really kind of delved into how we may not have free will because we might be controlled by some sort of deeper inside force, and that was really interesting to me. I really cannot express how much I love Satoshi Kon's work, so all I can say is you should go watch Satoshi Kon. I'm letting you know now, there will more likely than not be a part 2 to this video where I talk about more of Satoshi Kon's movies. So yeah, those are the 5. That's it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any animated films that you'd like me to watch, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd just love to check them out. There will be a part 2 to this video, actually, where I talk about more movies, and I'm gonna put a couple of actual television series in that one too. So be on the lookout for that. I'm planning on uploading it a week after this one. And I have a letterbox if you're interested in seeing all the things that I watch, and you can follow me, and we can talk more directly or just chat about movies. So, as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.